welcome to Tarot with Tanya, 7 cards for 7 days. And we are starting with January 30th this time, going until the next Sunday. So we're going to be obviously bridging into February. We are also starting this weekend, or this is the beginning of the week, with the moon in Gemini. And then by next Sunday, we will end with the moon in Leo. So starting with an airy energy, Gemini rules the hands and arms, and with this Mercury, not Mercury, but Mars, that has been retrograde so long in Gemini. It seems like a lot of people have had hand issues. It has now gone direct, Mars has, so hopefully things will get a little bit better if you've been suffering from that a bit. And hopefully also you have felt a sense of forward movement. There's been a lot of held back energy, projects that just haven't been able to launch perhaps in the ways that we had hoped. But I did feel that difference this weekend when we started to move into the Magician and the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Discs from last week, which is a forward moving kind of energy. For themes this week, we have 3 majors. That's quite a lot for 7 days. And we also have 3 wands. So 3s are about abundance connected to the Empress. So hopefully there's an abundance of goodness for us to tap into this week. And then we'll finish with one of the Crystal Angel cards. And I'm also using the After Tarot for our main reading this week. So as always, take what resonates for you. Keep developing your intuition. Leave behind what is not working for you, what just doesn't sound, feel right to you. All right, so our first card for this Monday, which should be the 30th of January, is the 8 of Cups. And because it is the After Tarot, you have little details, sometimes not so little, that make these somewhat different. They're similar to the Rider-Smith-Waite deck, but here you have a female figure holding the cup, and you see the one in the red coat that's behind walking away. So meanings for this card on the positive side are leaving a situation behind for a higher spiritual path. That can be one of the meanings. A little bit on the darker side could be a kind of emotional depletion, an intuitive depletion where you feel like I have to walk away from this situation. So, if we're practicing that reaching into the more positive energies of a card, I think this is really a good one to look for things, situations, energies, perhaps even relationships that would be better left behind, at least for now, and to walk away and save that energy for something that resonates for you. And 8s are connected to strength in some decks, and it is a strength to be able to let go, to put something down and walk away, even if it is just temporary. And of course, cups are emotional, so it's something that, vibrates at that emotional level for us. When we get to our Tuesday, the 31st, we get the 3 of Wands. And here we have some sort of raptor, bird of prey, perhaps a hawk, that has been, I think, released. You see the straps that would have fettered the bird to the person's arm hanging off of his wrist there, his or hers, and, the bird in flight. So it has an energy feeling to me of something taking flight, obviously. Some creative project coming into better shape. Sometimes people see this as your ship coming in. To me, though, in this particular depiction, it has more of that creative release aspect to it. It's a 3, so there's a reinforcement of that 3 energy for this week. And 3s are connected to creativity. So it feels like some sort of thing that needs to be said, creative project that needs to be released, has the energy to do that on Tuesday. When Wednesday comes around, we get a 9, so a 3 times 3, and this time a major. So this is our first major for this week. And the Hermit represents that part of us, a wisdom part of us, goes inside, and that is depicted in many ways by the way that the lamp is held. And in this lamp, it's hard to see, but there is a star. Maybe you can see that there. And then his staff is a live serpent. So that is a very definite connection to feminine energy. Might be surprising, but one of the old ancient symbols of the goddess, was a snake. The shedding of the skin, the going into the earth, deeply feminine. So he's looking, but the looking here is a looking inward, to try to be, excuse me, honest with the self about what one sees. The black dog is another ancient symbol of the goddess as well. So even though hermit, masculine form generally thought of, with a very deeply balanced feminine side as well. So good day to look inward, maybe to rest, not do so much that day. Take care of your own energies, see what wisdom comes to you. By Thursday, it's a very different kind of energy, and we're back to our wands. So we had the wands on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, we get wands again, and this time the king. He also has a staff or rod here, excuse me. Of course, this time it looks much more like what it is supposed to be. Excuse me, again, this dry heat gets to me in the winter. So he is the pinnacle of the use, the cultivation of the wand's energy. Okay, pardon me. How can you wield that instinctive power? And, when it's the feminine, as in the queen, it's generally a taking in of the energy. And when it's one of the masculine elements, and in this case the king, it's how you express that energy. How do you put that energy out into the world? And again, it might be about your creativity. It might be the words you have to say. It might be implementation of ideas, getting started, building some kind of a structure for that. So that is for our Thursday. We come to our second major on Friday, and that is the Chariot, number 7. So 7s that pause for inward change, that to me is the precursor to the outward change. And, you often see the Chariot. I mean, people generally will say, oh, let's, see that as an energy that is really rolling forward. But I would say it's more of an energy that is preparing to roll forward. You almost always see the person in the Chariot in a moment of stillness, a posture of stillness, and that is very much the case here. And the hand is resting on the heart. So I feel like it's that inward, pulling the energies up and together and sending them in a particular direction. So Friday can be a very good day, perhaps, to sit down, make some decisions about what's the next move on something, or, just that kind of stillness that gets you ready to move. And that is an important stage. I mean, obviously, if there's an emergency, we have to jump in. But when we can, it's nice to take a little time to contemplate what the next big step is, because it is a major, so it's more important, a stronger, more lasting energy. And the third of our wands comes up on Friday, and this one is the 9. Generally, you'll see just a single figure in this card, but again, it's the After Tarot, so we're getting 2 figures. And I sort of feel like the one in the red tunic is looking at the other one like, where did you come from? Are you here to help, or are you here to hurt? Hopefully it's to help. There are a couple of ways, at least, to think about this card, too. One is, can you use your energy wisely? Know when to do something, know when to not do something. And, as I'm sort of reflecting on this week's cards, that really does seem to be one of the major themes. When are we needing to be still and reflect? When do we need to gather that energy in preparation of a move? When and how do we imagine using that energy in a way that does not deplete us? Because obviously, you have a rather beaten up looking figure, again, the guy in the red tunic with the bandaged head. The other one looks a little fresher, so perhaps is there to bring in some new energy to help. But it is a 9, so it's going to be connected back to the Hermit. So that's another reason it feels to me very much like use your energy wisely this week. Don't waste it perhaps on getting mad when you have to sit in traffic, or you get stuck on the phone or something like that. Use more creative, imaginative energy, which the wands can provide, to think about it in a new way. So good for a reframe. And then our last card for the week is also our last major, and it's just an absolutely beautiful card for next Sunday. And that is the Sun. There is no negative interpretation of the Sun. I mean, of course, if people are doing rotten things, it could have a rotten meaning for them, but that's not us for the most part. We're trying our best out here. So a good energy, like the old song, Here Comes the Sun, we feel it, we need it, especially here in this hemisphere when it's, winter and the days are short, and there's a lot of cloud cover, snow, early darkness, things like that. So having that sun energy, in a personal way, it might illuminate a situation for you. It might provide some answers, or, just some good feelings and some companionship. I've always thought this one was pretty funny, the After one, because you have these 2 sort of little figures here, almost like children, but when you look at their faces, they're definitely not children. I think they even have like little beards and mustaches and so forth. But they seem to be at odds. It's sort of like, all right, how do we get this flagpole up? Maybe it's even, how do we fly our freak flags, something like that. But I still feel overall it's cooperation and harmony, and a really good feeling to end our 7 cards for 7 days this week. And after those, we got the Aqua Aura card from the Crystal Angel deck. And I will give you the visual on that. These blue-greens have really been, sort of purpley blues and some greens here have been showing up a lot lately, it seems to me. So on the card itself, it says healthy communication in relationships. Heart-to-heart discussions and clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. So we'll consult the book for a little bit more information here. This card brings hope for you and your relationships, especially if you've struggled to be understood by others. A gentler and clearer form of communication is on the horizon, initiated by you in answer to your own prayers. New strength gives you the courage to talk about your honest feelings in a loving way that keeps communication open. You aren't trying to change or convince others. You're just being your true self. This card can be a sign of improvement in existing relationships or of new healthy friends or a romantic partner on the way. When you speak from the heart in your relationships, others have the opportunity to know and appreciate the real you, which relieves loneliness because you know that you, not a false version of you, but you are loved. So I hope that helps. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week, best it can be. And if you are seeking a private reading, which could be all kinds of questions about, it could be about past lives, if you're into that. It could be about loved ones who have passed on. It could be about career. It could be about romance. It could be about children, parents, all kinds of things. I use the cards, of course, and then I also use my own intuitive, my psychic mediumship abilities to read for people too, depending on what they want or are ready for. And if you are interested in that, you can find information in the description box below the video, and how to reach my website to get there at the end of this video. So, beloveds, take good care of yourselves.